So we're going to look at tangents and touching circles. So find the equation of the tangent to the circle, x squared plus y squared minus 2x plus 4y minus 20 at the point minus 2, 2. So if I get the center of this circle, this is what we're going to need here. The center is going to be half of this and change the sign. Center is going to be 1. Half of this and change the sign, minus 2 at the point minus 2, 2. So I could do it just a quick little sketch here. The point 1 minus 2 is the center. Let's say it's here. We'll call it C. And the point minus 2, 2 is over here. So this is going to be my radius because the tangent touches off this circle. So I'll just do a quick circle around here as a sketch and my tangent. So I want the equation of this line here. So what do I need to get equation of a line? I need a point, which I have, and I need slope. So I need to get the slope of this line. So that's actually my radius, not my full circle. So my full circle looks like more like this. So I have the center is 1 minus 2. And I have my point on the tangent. So I can get the slope of the radius. And we know that these lines are perpendicular. So I can invert my slope and change the sign. So the slope of the radius is equal to, we could use rise over run here. We can see it's a negative slope. So it's going to be a negative. Change in y from 2 to minus 2 is 4. And the change in x from minus 2 to 1 is 3. So the perpendicular slope is equal to 3 over 4. So now filling this into y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. I get y minus, my point is minus 2, 2. Be careful not to use the center. So y minus 2 is equal to 3 over 4 times x minus minus 2, so x plus 2. Multiplying across by 4, 4y minus 8 is equal to 3x plus 6. So 3x minus 4y plus 6 plus 8 plus 14 is equal to 0. So that's the equation of my tangent. So this question, we're asked to find the equations of a tangent from a point outside the circle, and there will be two tangents. So find the equation of the tangents from the point 1, 0 to the circle x squared plus y squared minus 12x minus 10y plus 51 is equal to 0. Okay, let's get the center of this circle. It's going to be half change the sign 6, half change the sign 5. So my radius, I'll write it in this form, x squared, x minus 6 to be squared, gives me my minus 12x. I'm bringing in a plus 36 that I want, plus y minus 5 to be squared. I'm bringing in a 25 that I don't want. And then what do I have to do to get back to 51? I currently have 61, so I got to take away 10, but we're going to write equals 10. So again, you can see the center is 6, 5. My radius is equal to the square root of 10 because r squared is on the right hand side of the equation. So let's just do a little sketch here. I've got my point, I've got my circle, I've got my center, and I've got these two tangents. And they're touching off just at one point. So I need the equations of these tangents. What I don't have is the slope, but what I do have now is this perpendicular distance. And the perpendicular distance is 10. This brings you back to your coordinate geometry, sorry, square root 10. So I have my perpendicular distance, and I have this point here, 1, 0. So I can write these equations without my slope in terms of m. So y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. Y minus 0 is equal to m times x minus 1. So y is equal to mx minus m. And we know when we're getting perpendicular distance, we need everything on the same side of the equal sign. So mx minus y minus m equals 0. My a becomes m. My b becomes minus 1, the coefficient of y, and my c is minus m. And I have my point, x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 0. my perpendicular distance formula, ax1 plus by1 plus c over the square root of a squared plus b squared, in this case, is going to be equal to the square root of 10. So fill in your information in. A times x is m times 1. B times y is just going to be, it's going to be 0, but we can put it in minus 1 times 0, and then plus c, which is minus m. And I hope you're all shouting at me for a mistake I've made. It's this point I'm using. The center of the circle is the reason I got it. 6, 5. Let me just change that. 6 and a 5. It's really important in maths to identify your mistakes, but just keep checking back over your work. So let's just redo this. M times 6 plus b, which is minus 1 times 5, plus c, which is minus m, over the square root of a squared plus b squared, which is m squared, plus minus 1 to b squared, m squared plus 1. And this is going to be equal to root 10. And it's the absolute value. So I have 6m minus m minus 5. So that's going to give me 5m minus 5 on top. 5m minus 5 over, now I have my m squared in here, so I'm going to have a quadratic here, so I will get two solutions. So I can drop the absolute value is equal to root 10. So multiplying across, 5m minus 5 is equal to root 10 by root m squared plus 1. So now I need to square both sides. So I'm going to get 25m squared minus 25m twice plus 25, and this becomes 10 times m squared plus 1. The squaring both sides eliminates the square roots. So I'm going to bring across, don't have to write the whole stage out again, 10m squared plus 10, I'm going to bring it across, so I'm going to get 15m squared, 25 minus 10, minus 50m, and then plus 15 is equal to 0. So dividing by 5, I get 3m squared minus 10m plus 3 equals to 0. Does this factorize for us? Two minuses here. 3m has to be 3m by m because 3 is prime. It has to be 3 by 1 at the end again, so you can see how I'm going to get to 10. 3 3s are 9 and 1 is 10, and they're both minus, so I'm going to get m is equal to 1 over 3 or 3. So the equation of my line, it was m squared mx minus y minus m, mx minus y minus m is equal to 0. So 1 over 3x minus y minus 1 over 3 is equal to 0. Tidy this up, multiply it by 3, we're going to get x minus 3y minus 1 is equal to 0. And similarly, if we let m equal 3, we're going to get 3x minus y minus 3 equals 0. So the mistake I made in that question is probably the most common mistake that students make. When you're doing the perpendicular distance from the point outside the line, make sure to take the point that's not on the line, not the point on the line. So really common error. Don't make the same mistakes as me by going too quickly or getting interrupted halfway through doing a video. In this question, you're asked to find the equation of the tangents to the circle, which are parallel to the line 3x plus 4y plus 10. So parallel, my x and y coefficients will be the same, and the only thing that's changing here is my constant. We'll call it c. So like the previous question where n was the unknown, now we're looking at c being the unknown. So it's a similar type of question. We get the perpendicular distance. So let me just write this equation. X plus 3 to be squared is going to give me my 6x, but we're bringing in a plus 9 that we don't want. Plus y plus 1 to be squared will give me my 2y, but we're bringing in a 1 that I don't want. And I brought in plus 10, but I really want minus 15, so I got to go back 25. So we say equals 25. So my center is minus 3 minus 1. And my radius is the square root of 25, which is 5. So now we have the perpendicular distance from this point inside the circle to the lines. So my A from my line here, A is 3, B is 4, and C is, in this case, C. And my point, my X and my Y, are minus 3 and minus 1. So write your equation out, ax1 plus by1 plus c over the square root of a squared plus b squared. The perpendicular distance this time is 5. So 3 by minus 3 plus 4 by minus 1 plus c over the square root of 3 squared plus 4 squared. And you can see here we need two solutions. There's two tangents, so we need to keep the absolute value this time equals 5. So we're going to have minus 9 minus 4 plus c over, you know that that's 5 on the bottom, equals 5. Now it could be equal to plus or minus 5. And that's where we can drop the modular bars or the absolute value. So minus 13 plus c is equal to 5 by plus 5, or minus 13 plus c is equal to 5 by minus 5. So c is equal to 38, or c is equal to minus 12. So my two equations become 3x plus 4y for both, and then you just fill your c values in. Plus 38 equals 0, and minus 12 equals 0.